So we all know that scrub that eats like shit. He's junk food, snacks, sodas, and he's depressed. He's always wondering why he feels anxious, why he's sad. And the biggest reason why is because his diet is garbage. The food that we eat dramatically affects our mind, our mood, the way we feel, and the way that we perform. So, gentlemen, today we are going to be focusing on how health, the food that you eat, affects your brain and why it's very important for confidence. Because if you eat like shit, you're not gonna have any type of confidence, man. You're always gonna be in a very depressed mood and always gonna be feeling down. So, food is highly important. Food is fuel. That's the way that we need to look at food, and we're going to really dissect the best foods that we can be consuming as strong men. Before I jump into the video, I want to mention that our newsletter is live. You can sign up for it in the link in the description below. It's a work in progress. It's getting better, but sign up for that and you'll just get daily insights on confidence, how to build that confidence so you can conquer wherever you want. And let's go ahead and pull up the video here. Let's go ahead and put up the screen, pull up the whiteboard so we can break this down. Also, guys, I'm doing one-on-one coaching. You can sign up for that. Also, in the link in the description below. We're still on the confidence series. So we're focusing these videos on how to build maximum confidence. In the future, we're going to go into different series that I'm excited about, like style, game. But for now, I think confidence is the starting point, and this is why we're starting here. So, healthy diet. Before we jump into it, we need to break down a couple of definitions. So, the most important thing that we need to consume is whole foods. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but we like to overcomplicate it. Another thing is, like, we're just exposed to so much shitty food, especially in the States, man. Like, when I was in the States, bro, you had Burger King, McDonald's, Wendy's, all this shitty food everywhere, and it was very easy to go pick it up. It's fast food for a reason. You could just drive up to the window booth and pick it up in a matter of five minutes. You already have an entire meal, and that's the insidious part of fast food, that is so easy and so convenient to get. But this is a cheap source of nutrition. We want to focus on whole foods. So whole foods, all it is food that has not been processed, or it's been refined as little as possible. It's free of additives, any artificial substances. So an apple, the ingredients of an apple is just an apple, grapes, eggs, milk. For milk, it would be unprocessed milk, water. All of this is whole foods. This is what we want to focus on. So there's a great quote here by the Buddha that I really like, where he says that to keep the body in good health is a duty. Otherwise, we shall not be able to keep our mind strong and clear. And this is the most important part of this quote. The mind needs to stay strong and clear. And the problem with processed food, all this shitty junk food, is that it clouds your mind. It clouds your clarity. You don't think as clear when you eat a bunch of fries, a big burger. You have that groggy feeling. And I used to be that scrub, man. Like, I used to eat a lot of shitty food all my life, man. It wasn't until I got to, and I still do every now and then. It's not like you can't eat out and enjoy yourself every now and then, but it used to be like a big part of my diet. I used to cope thinking that I can go to Chick-fil-A and get like get a chicken sandwich and some fries, a Diet Coke, and I thought that I was eating healthy because it had chicken and I was drinking a Diet Coke. But the fact of the matter is, like, all this shit's been processed. Whenever you eat out, you're taking a big risk because you don't really know what's being put into your food. And a lot of these companies, like big restaurants, big companies, they want to formulate a meal that is addictive, that keeps you coming back. So they add all these different ingredients so you can get addicted to the food and really, go for the taste and keep coming back for more. So jumping back to the video, guys, I also want to mention you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok at JMedinaX7. This is where I post everything. my day-to-day life. Right now, your boy's in South America and Ecuador. So you want to get a little bit of behind the scenes, you can just follow me here. And there's a great video here also that we need to play so we can really understand the effect of food on the brain. So this is a TED Talk that focuses on how food affects the brain by Mia Makamuli. Hope I didn't butcher that, but it's a very insightful video. So let's go ahead and play it.
If you sucked all of the moisture out of your brain and broke it down to its constituent nutritional content, what would it look like? Most of the weight of your dehydrated brain would come from fats, also known as lipids. In the remaining brain matter, you would find proteins and amino acids, traces of micronutrients, and glucose. The brain is, of course, more than just the sum of its nutritional parts, but each component does have a distinct impact on functioning, development, mood, and energy. So that post-lunch apathy or late-night alertness you might be feeling, well, that could simply be the effects of food on your brain. Of the fats in your brain, the superstars are omegas 3 and 6. These essential fatty acids, which have been linked to preventing degenerative brain conditions, must come from our diets. So eating omega-rich foods like nuts, seeds, and fatty fish is crucial to the creation and maintenance of cell membranes. And while omegas are good fats for your brain, long-term consumption of other fats, like trans and saturated fats, may compromise brain health. Meanwhile, proteins and amino acids, the building block nutrients of growth and development, manipulate how we feel and behave. Amino acids contain...
So one thing I want to mention here is that fat is very important. Like healthy, good fat is very important for your brain function. So you can get this from like omegas, fish oil, good fat, eggs, avocados. And one thing you'll notice is that if you cut back on your fat, you're going to feel like shit, man. This fat is very important for your hormones. So you always want to have a good balance of fat.
In the precursors to neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers that carry signals between neurons, affecting things like mood, sleep, attentiveness, and weight. They're one of the reasons we might feel calm after eating a large plate of pasta, or more alert after a protein-rich meal. The complex...
He says calm. He says calm after eating carbs, but the biggest thing, one of the biggest things for productivity is that if you eat a lot of carbs before you start your deep work session, before you have to get something done, you're going to feel groggy, man. You're going to be slow, sluggish. And a big part of that is because of the carbs that you consume. That's why intermittent fasting is very important. And we're going to jump more into that shortly.
Combinations of compounds in food can stimulate brain cells to release mood-altering norepinephrine, dopamine, and serotonin. But getting to your brain cells is tricky, and amino acids have to compete for limited access. A diet with a range of foods helps maintain a balanced combination of brain messengers and keeps your mood from getting skewed in one direction or the other. Like the other organs in our bodies, our brains also benefit from a steady supply of micronutrients. Antioxidants in fruits and vegetables strengthen the brain to fight off free radicals that destroy brain cells, enabling your brain to work well for a longer period of time. And without powerful micronutrients like the vitamins B6, B12, and folic acid, our brains would be susceptible to brain disease and mental decline. Trace amounts of the minerals iron, copper, zinc, and sodium are also fundamental to brain health and early cognitive development. In order for the brain to efficiently transform and synthesize these valuable nutrients, it needs fuel, and lots of it. While the human brain only makes up about 2% of our body weight, it uses up to 20% of our energy resources. Most of this energy comes from carbohydrates that our body digests into glucose or blood sugar. The frontal lobes are so sensitive to drops in glucose, in fact, that a change in mental function is one of the primary signals of nutrient deficiency. Assuming that we are getting glucose regularly, how does the specific type of carbohydrates we eat affect our brains? Carbs come in 3 forms: starch, sugar, and fiber. While on most nutrition labels, they are all lumped into one total carb count, the ratio of the sugar and fiber subgroups to the whole amount affect how the body and brain respond. A high glycemic food, like white bread, causes a rapid release of glucose into the blood, and then comes the dip. Blood sugar shoots down, and with it, our attention span and mood. On the other
So this is a really good point here. So like whenever you eat a candy bar, your glucose from the sugar spikes dramatically, and right after you get that sugar high, but right after you feel like shit, man. Like you feel lazy, so you feel groggish because of this insulin spike here. It's like it tremendously goes up, and then you hit that hard crash.
hand, oats, grains, and legumes have slower glucose release, enabling a steadier level of attentiveness. For sustained brain power, opting for a varied diet of nutrient-rich foods is critical. When it comes to what you bite, chew, and swallow, your choices have a direct and long-lasting effect on the most powerful organ in your body.
There you have it. So the easiest way to think about this is with like a car, man. Like if you think about a car, let's say a Ferrari, you got to look at yourself as a Ferrari because your body is the most important vessel. It's the most important thing. You got to take care of it. So for a Ferrari, you don't want to put some shitty gas into it, man. Like the lowest, cheapest gas, because it's not gonna operate as efficiently. As opposed to if you give it the supreme gas, it needs it gets the necessary fuel to operate at its highest level. So let's go back to the whiteboard. So this is the power of food. And a diet rich in whole foods is just very helpful because it's going to increase your mental clarity, your well-being, your productivity, and this all correlates into confidence because it's all linked together. One thing you'll notice about all of these videos is that it's all linked together. And when you focus on your mental well-being through your food, you're going to make more strength gains in the gym because you're eating the necessary fuel to fuel your workouts, but also to grow muscle. You're going to feel better mentally so you can be more productive in your career, stay focused, that deep work so you can keep advancing and keep acquiring those high-level skills. And then just your overall well-being, man, you're going to feel good. One of the biggest aphrodisiacs, shout out to my mentor MLD, like, is that you have to be happy, bro. And when you're happy, when you exude happiness around people and women in particular, you're more attractive. And this is why it's very important to have a good solid balanced ratio of whole foods, because if your mind and your body feels good, you're going to be feeling good, man. You're going to be happy, and people are going to notice that energy from you. So food is fuel. That's the way we need to look at this. And if we jump into implementation, like the biggest thing is to avoid toxic nutrition. So toxic nutrition is all this shitty junk food that you see here on the right-hand side. And I'm not saying that you can't enjoy it from time to time, but you have to earn it. Shout out to my boy Lifting Lawyer also. He really talks about these concepts. I had him on a couple of weeks ago. We did a podcast together, and he really broke this down. So check it out, follow him. I'll link it also in the description below. But you want to earn the opportunity to enjoy these type of foods. You don't want to be eating this on a day-to-day basis because like we said, your glucose is going to be spiked, your hormones are going to be feeling like shit, and this has to be earned. You can enjoy a burger from time to time, get you some pizza. I personally love pizza. And like a good beer, man. That's my weakness right there. But yeah, we want to avoid toxic nutrition. Also, take a look at your alcohol consumption. Make sure that you're not consuming too much alcohol. I only drink alcohol when I'm when I'm out with a girl, man, on a date. I think 1 or 2 drinks is pretty good. I try not to go over 3 drinks because then I notice that it affects my performance at work. My mind doesn't feel as clear. It also just makes you like depressed a little bit. Alcohol has a lot of negative side effects if you drink too much of it. But 1 or 2 drinks, I don't think it hurts. I never really noticed any detrimental effects of drinking alcohol after like 1 or 2 drinks. No, if you stay within 1 or 2 drinks. And fast food, like we mentioned, the States, man, like you see this a lot. Fast food is everywhere, and it's very easy to just indulge in it and make it a part of your daily routine. Drugs, beware of drugs like marijuana, all these other different drugs as well. Maybe even prescription, I can't fucking talk. Prescriptive drugs, because they can also influence your hormones and they can make you hungrier, or they can reduce your lack of hunger. So this also affects your nutrition. And this just all lowers your energy levels. It impairs that mental clarity. That mental clarity is highly important for being productive, for getting shit done. So the best nutrition that we can focus on is lean proteins, which is chicken and fish. I opt for chicken. I also like fish, but cooking fish, man, like it's good. But one thing I don't like about fish is that it stinks up the apartment, man. And that's not pimp, bro. Like whenever you have a girl over and it smells like fish, it's that it dries up really fast, man. So you want to, I offer chicken because I feel like chicken has more protein and just more filling, and it doesn't stink up the entire apartment. And you also want to go into healthy fats. You want to, consume healthy fats, which are like avocados, nuts, almonds, walnuts. This again is very helpful for increasing the your brain health, right? Your health is gonna feel your brain is gonna feel good. And then complex carbohydrates like whole grains, vegetables. I would offer vegetables, potatoes. This is very important for glycogen. Whenever you're getting that pump, like the reason why you get that solid pump in the gym is because of those carbs. So you don't, I think that the best diet is having something that's balanced, because those carbs make you feel good. They make you feel like happy, bro. Like you feel a sense of well-being when you eat carbs. But it's also very important for your workout performance because it fuels your workout. It supports overall health, enhances your focus, and just boosts your physical performance. It keeps you sharp when you eat these whole foods. The next powerful strategy is intermittent fasting. So this, man, I will die on this hill. Intermittent fasting is powerful. It's powerful because it allows you, this correlates very well with the way that you're going to feel and perform, but also with staying productive and getting shit done. Because if you fast, let's say you fast in the morning, you can really focus on your deep work, make sure that your mind is clear, and you can really lock in. And then after you finish that deep work, you can eat a pretty solid meal to fuel your workout. And then at night, you can have a bigger meal. So intermittent fasting has just been proven that it aids weight loss. It aids, it increases mental clarity. It reduces the inflammation that you have. So you don't get like that puffy, you don't feel puffy all day and you're just, groggy the entire day. It improves insulin sensitivity and just enhances your brain function. So a couple of ways that you can implement this is to do a 16-8 split or a 24 if you can actually do that. Like I think 6 to 18 is probably like the best range. It might take some time to get used to it, especially if you're not used to skipping breakfast. But if you think about it, like breakfast, man, break fast. You're breaking your fast. And this is like, it's been shown that this was like a marketing strategy in the 70s, 80s to get people to eat more cereal so they can break their fast, eat cereal. And these big companies were just trying to push that, shove that down everyone's throat so they can, increase their revenue by selling breakfast. So you don't need breakfast. And I would argue that if you skip breakfast, you're going to be more productive. You're going to feel better and you're going to be able to really dial in on your calories because you're not going to get that insulin spike that is going to result in making you want to eat more throughout your day. When you break that fast, that's when you get more hunger cravings. Like you want to eat more. So you can start off slow, man. Like let's say Monday, you start off with you don't eat breakfast until 10 a.m. And then Tuesday you can do 12 p.m. And then Wednesday you can do 2 p.m. And that's how you'll get into this fasting window. It might be a little difficult the first couple of weeks, but you'll slowly start programming your body to get into that fasting window. So macronutrients are broken down between carbs, protein, and fats. This is very important to know because whenever you start eating your food, you can really analyze what you're eating, what you're consuming. And like I said, I think the best macronutrient split is just a balanced macronutrient split, which is 40% carbs, 30% protein, and 30% fat. Because if you're well balanced, you're going to feel good, man. You're going to perform well. And also you're going to be able to hit those strong workouts in the gym. If you start reducing any of these, let's say you focus some more on protein and fat, you're not going to have those carbs, that power when you're in the gym, when you're sparring, when you're boxing. If you go too low on protein, your muscle mass is going to suffer because you don't have the adequate protein to maintain that muscle mass. And then if you go too low on fats, your hormones are going to really suffer. You're going to feel like shit. And this one here, fats and protein, can dramatically kill your sex drive. So if you have problems with this, like if you have problems with like, that sex drive, that, you want that urge to, to have sex, or you can't perform as well, it might be because you're low on carbs and fats. This one's probably the biggest one here, fats, man. Like, you're not going to want to have sex. Your drive is going to be so low. Testosterone is going to suffer as well. So this all just supports your strength gains, your mental health. It provides energy for your workouts, promotes muscle growth and repair. And when it comes to food, when it comes to anything, you want to track your progress. A great app that you can use is MyFitnessPal. That's my favorite app to use. You can really see what's in the food that you're consuming, and it makes it easier to track it throughout the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, months. Always monitor your calorie intake. This is the biggest way to really see if you can lose weight or if you want to gain muscle mass, is your calorie intake. Whether you track it or not, everything is being tracked. Everything is happening, and you can really see where you're making progress and where you need to improve based on your calorie intake. Monitor your eating habits, so see how much you're eating, see where you're slipping up, and you can, like I said, you can notice this whenever you start tracking it. So yeah, man, like if you want to lose weight, you just need to be in a calorie deficit, but you also want to do it correctly. You don't want to just completely cut your calories, because it's going to affect your well-being, your mood, and it's going to affect your muscle gain. So you can lose a lot of muscle mass if you do a calorie deficit, a cut incorrectly. You want to do it correctly. Same thing with a calorie surplus. If you want to gain mass, you don't want to do a dirty bulk, because if you overconsume calories that are not good for you, you're going to get fat in the process. And I've been on both sides of the spectrum, bro. Like, I've lost a lot of weight cutting for like jiu-jitsu tournaments, and man, like, you feel like shit. You cut, but you just feel like shit, and you notice that you lose a lot of muscle mass. And also, I've been on the calorie surplus, thinking like, I can eat donuts, I can eat pizza, burgers, and I'll gain muscle. And I did gain a lot of power. You see this a lot with power lifters, is that they eat a lot, but like their physique shows that they're strong, but they're also fat. So you want to just make sure, if you want to have a nice, decent frame, to do a surplus correctly. Don't do a dirty bulk, and don't just cut calories, and it's going to really affect your outcome. So tying this all back to confidence, diet is very important, because if you have a good diet, it's going to fuel your workouts. You're going to have better results in the gym. It's going to improve your mental clarity, so you can be more productive, level up your career, high paying skills, really drive, get more money through that process. And then finally, you're just going to feel good, man. You're going to radiate good energy out into the world. And this is very important when it comes to game, because women, like I said, the biggest aphrodisiac is that you're happy. If you exude happiness in your interactions with people, especially with women, they're going to be a lot more attracted to you. So there you have it, gentlemen. This is the power of having a healthy diet. A lot of content, but it's highly important to have a really good diet that allows you to perform at your highest levels. Confidence is not something that you just get overnight, man. Like, there's a lot of action steps that you have to take, and that's what we're breaking down in these videos. If you missed any of them, you can catch them all in the link in the description below. We're currently on episode 11, so we already have a lot of videos on this series, and we're gonna make a couple more. But we're gonna, shortly we're gonna wrap up this series probably in a couple weeks. There's still more concepts that I really want to drill down here, but this is the power of eating healthy. If you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, give us a like. Everyone here, I really appreciate you watching these videos. You know, I really enjoy making these videos, but these are very powerful strategies that will help you elevate that confidence. Until next time, stay strong, eat healthy, and keep on conquering. You got this. Peace.